First off, sorry to the Lions for the fact that they had to withdraw their proposal for new playoff seedings because of the lack of support for the decision. The proposal was to have the best four teams record-wise get the top four seeds in the entire NFL playoffs, with the best record, of course, having the first round bye, and the other three teams with the highest records getting home playoff games in the wild card. Unfortunately, that lacks a lot of support, so Lions had to withdraw that. I was really interested in that offer going through. But then another thing, they're still trying to ban the tush push, or the brotherly shove, whichever you want to call it. Either way, these teams are mad because they can't stop it because it's not unstoppable. You could stop it if you have a really good defense. And if you have a good offensive line, you can freaking do it too. How about some of these teams stop crying about one play and start worrying about helping their team get better? Because some of these teams, their head coaches that are approving the tush push ban, they can't even freaking get a winning record. They don't have a winning culture. That's the problem. Oh yeah, and another thing, NFL has approved that the 2028 Olympics will feature flag football. So there is a thing going on about the Flag Football League having a little minor league, sort of like NFL with the UFL. I'm honestly down, even though I'm not a big fan of flag football, I'm a tackle guy. That's all the news I got for NFL. Let's get straight to the video. Welcome back to Grizzly Talks Football. I'm Grizz, and we're doing NFL QB rankings for the 2025 NFL season. This is before camps and preseason. This is before the official depth charts for the 2025 season come out. So these are kind of subject to change. But anyways, if you are looking forward to seeing the entire season 2, like all the episodes up to this point, I'll leave a link in the description for you to click on so that you can see every episode that have already been uploaded to this point. And you also have that playlist to be able to view future episodes. Don't forget to hit the red subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos because it helps a lot. Without further delay, let's rank some starting quarterbacks for the NFL. You see the tiers? I do apologize beforehand that they're not individual tiers because I wanted to make it as short as possible, as in the tier list. But you got 1 through 8, 9 through 16, 17 through 24, and 25 through 32, even though some of these quarterbacks are actually really good and have a potential to be top 10 QBs. I'm going to go from 32 to number 1. So kicking things off, we got number 32. And in that spot is rookie quarterback from Louisville, Tyler Shock. He's a rookie. Obviously, Derek Carr retired recently from the Saints. So the QB controversy in New Orleans is just completely in shambles. But as of right now, Tyler Shock is the starter right now, but I don't know. He is a rookie. We haven't seen him play an NFL snap yet. I'm not too high on him right now. Especially since they picked this guy over a guy in Colorado. I don't know his name. I don't know. His last name's Sanders. I'm kidding. I know it's Shador. I'm just trying to get all the Shador stands mad, which is literally every media personnel in the NFL. Up next, we got number 31, and in that spot, I got Anthony Richardson / Daniel Jones of the Indianapolis Colts. I'm combining both of them because we are actually not too sure who is going to be the starter between the two because these two are very, very close to each other. Obviously, Anthony Richardson had a terrible season where he threw for less than 50% of his passes, as completions, and he threw more interceptions than touchdowns, stuff that Daniel Jones hasn't done in his career. Daniel Jones is pretty much a veteran. He does have playoff experience, and he also has a playoff win on his belt, so it kind of does make sense for Daniel Jones to be the starter. But some people are still high on Anthony Richardson. They're thinking he's going to have a breakout year. Let me tell you something. You can have a strong arm. You can have the best mobility in the world, but if you can't throw accurately, then there's a problem there. Next up, we got number 30, and from the Pittsburgh Steelers, I gotta say, I got Mason Rudolph. Right now, the Steelers' QB situation is uncertain because of the Aaron Rodgers drama. Can you just sign with the fucking team already? all the pointers are pointing to the Steelers to get Aaron Rodgers. I will probably have to move the Steelers to the kind of top half, like somewhere around the middle, if Aaron Rodgers does sign with the Steelers. But as of right now, Mason Rudolph is currently quarterback. He is the starter. Will Howard is the backup, just in case you were wondering. But yeah, if we learned anything from Tennessee in 2024, their quarterback situation was a disaster. On this, we got number 29, and this is going to be a very unpopular pick, but at 29, unfortunately, I got Mr. 40-year-old hero Jeff Flacco. He was in Cleveland 2 years ago, and he stepped in for an injured Deshaun Watson, took the Browns to the playoffs, and then they weren't even close because they decided to let Flacco go and have Watson as the starter, and you could probably guess how that season went. So now Flacco is back in Cleveland. Unfortunately for him, he has Jerry Jeudy coming back after a Pro Bowl season. But as far as the rest of the core, a little questionable. Cleveland doesn't exactly have the offense to be able to make a big run. Defense may have something to say about it. You know, defense with championships, but you need points from your offense. And I don't know how many points they're going to score, but it's not going to be very many, no matter who's the starter. I think from this moment on, from 29 up to 1, this is like starting to be in like the average to absolutely great quarterbacks. This is what it's starting to be like. Number 28, oh boy, this is where it's going to start to get a little fishy. But I'm sorry. I think Bryce Young's going to be at 28. Not exactly his fault, but he does have Ted McMillan at receiver 1. It's just receiving core. Running game is fine, but the receiving core I'm not so sure about. And the offensive line of defense is still struggling. He does have some nice weapons. He's got veteran Adam Thielen out there. They got, I believe, Jalen Coker, who is now a veteran like a second year. And now they got rookie Ted McMillan, who's like, 6'4", 200 pounds? I'm not saying Bryce is going to be bad. It's just, I think there are some QBs that might do better. Might is the key word. Now moving on to 27, I gotta say New York Giants, Russell Wilson is going to be number 27 if this thing would start going. There we go. Veteran, of course. He is 30 plus years old now because this is actually his 14th season in the league now. He does have Malik Neighbors. He does have Tracy and Scadaboo as his running back duo, but it's the rest of the receiving core. We have no idea what's going on down there. If the offense can be at least as good as the defense, I think they should be just fine to finish with 7 wins. But, Daboll's on the hot seat. He definitely needs it. Otherwise, he's going to get canned. I personally feel Daboll is a good coach and he'll get Russell Wilson on the right track. But he is on the hot seat. So, Giants are expecting a lot of great things from him. Number 26, I gotta say it. First overall pick from 2025, Cam Ward. This is a very unpopular opinion, but hear me out. This is his first season, and he kind of was not dealt a great hand to start out with. Running back should be okay as long as Ty J. Spears knows how to play football again. The receiving core, besides Xavier Restrepo, I don't know, and Calvert Ridley is not great. Titans got the number 1 pick last year for a reason. So don't expect the Titans to make the playoffs right away. And Brian Callahan is also on the hot seat along with Shane Steichen. I almost forgot to include those two, but if they can't get it together as well, they're going to be gone as well. Defense was fine. It was just the offensive struggles were just a nightmare. Number 25, I hate to do this, but honestly, I have to say it. I think it's going to be Michael Penix. Uncertainty about Kyle Pitts. Darnell Mooney is actually going to be a wideout. Defense should be a lot better than it was last year. Drake London, of course. You got Bijan Robinson. It's just, I need to know more about Penix. He played 3 games last year. He actually looked good in all 3. However, it's not quite enough. He's still a little inexperienced, so we're going to give him a season, see how well he does. I'm hoping he plays well, especially with some standout players on offense. Number 24, I am going to probably receive a lot of hate for this comment, but I believe number 24 is got to be the New England Patriots, Drake May. Y'all are going to be pissed at me in the comments, but hear me out. Ramondre Stevenson, he's a solid running back. The receiving core? Not so much. They did improve in the offensive line and on the defense as well. It's just the receiving core is not it at all. Only players they got really worth mentioning is Stephon Diggs and Matt Collins. Those were the two players that Patriots signed. Because other than that, it's pretty bad. Oh, Demario Douglas is alright, but everybody else, yeah. And next we got 23, and I gotta be honest with you, it's Justin Fields on the New York Jets. I mean, I'm picking this just because it's the Jets. Let's be real. Defense is fine as long as they have a competent head coach. Actually, no. Aaron Glenn is going to be a great defensive-minded head coach, so the defense should be fine. The offense, that's where the biggest concern is. They drafted Armand Membu for the offensive line, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem unless they all get injured somehow again, like that happened 2 years ago. He obviously does have Breece Hall. He has Garrett Wilson and Alan Lazard, I would say. No Devontae Adams this time around. Gotta be honest, those two are the only receivers really worth mentioning on that damn Jets roster. I gotta be honest, I kind of expected the Jets just gonna be the Jets, sadly. Number 22, this is gonna also be an unpopular pick, but I think Kyler Murray is gonna fly right in for the Arizona Cardinals. Besides Marvin Harrison, James Conner, not much really to talk about the Cardinals' offense. Defense was nice. But Kyler Murray is starting to just look like a 5'10 QB that is just now below Bryce Young. Obviously, I don't know that because Bryce has had like one good stretch last year, but he's definitely up there right now. As far as Kyler goes, like he has the mobility, but if he could just take his football time seriously, he would actually be a pretty nice quarterback. 2021, he led the Cardinals to the playoffs. Unfortunately, he had that knee injury. He might not be the same after that. Number 21, I am going to say Tua Tagovailoa fits right in at 21. Has an all-star lineup. Devon Achane is also there. Jalen Wright is actually coming up as the running back too. Tyreek Hill, we don't know about him yet, but Jalen Wall has proven to be a pretty nice wideout. John Smith has proven himself to be a target as well. Defense got improved, so did the offensive line. I may be too low on Tua, it's literally just because of his injury history. He gets hurt again, Dolphins might have to consider moving on from him. Because right now, it is not looking too good for Miami and Tua's relationship if he gets down with the injury again. Don't use your head seriously, Tua. Just slide. Now we go to number 20. Trevor Lawrence is going to fit in there. I'm sorry. Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas look like a very good receiver duo. The running backs, like Tank Bigsby had a good year. Travis Etienne, not so much. Really goes to show it's really the offensive line. And sometimes the defense that's going to get improved by also Travis Hunter. I thought maybe Jacksonville would try to go for defensive line to help the interior, but nope. They decided to go for what is considered to be the best player in this draft class. And I can see all the reasons why he should be. It's just Trevor Lawrence just had one good season when he took the Jags to a playoff win and nearly beating the Chiefs in the divisional round in 3 years ago maybe? If Trevor Lawrence doesn't perform at that level this upcoming season, I don't know what his future holds. Here we go with number 19. I'm actually going to go a little surprise here. I'm going to say 19, Geno Smith. Las Vegas Raiders, it's really just the Raiders. Gentry looks like he should be a great running back. They picked up, I can't remember his name. It was a guy from TCU, Jack Beck. To pair up along with Jacoby Myers, there's also Trey Tucker out there as well. I mean, the receiving core got better. Defense kind of got worse, though. And the offensive line still kind of, somewhere in the middle. I gotta be honest with you, Geno moved from a pretty good team when he was there in Seattle, when he had some great above 500 seasons, to a team that doesn't even know what winning is in the Raiders. And no, I'm not a Geno hater. Number 18, I gotta say Sam Darnold of the Seattle Seahawks. That was Geno's replacement. That guy secured a bag in Seattle, 3-year, $100 million deal. He's got Cooper Kupp, Jackson Smith and Jigba. You got Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet at the run game. Like, this offense looks like a very good team. And Mike Macdonald is a rookie head coach who had a 10-win season, so maybe he might be able to get Sam Darnold in the same wing with Geno Smith. But let's be honest, Seattle is not the same as Minnesota, so no KOC to help you out. Hopefully Mike Macdonald can do almost just as good as Kevin O'Connell did with Sam Darnold, made him a Pro Bowler. Maybe Sam Darnold can make another one. I do have to worry about the offensive line, though. And then number 17. This is going to be a tough one. Okay, at number 17, I'm going to put J.J. McCarthy actually at 17. I would put him lower, but he does have a great load of weapons in Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones at the running backs. You also got TJ Hawkinson. He's got a lot of weapons, some good offensive line, especially the interior, solid defense, and a great head coach for the QB position. That's why a lot of people are so high on J.J. McCarthy, because he's got everything he needs to be the Pro Bowler that Sam Darnold was when he was in Minnesota last year. I do hope he plays well. It's really just the Achilles that's really freaking me out, because he did tear that in the preseason, and who knows, he might not be able to run like he used to. But also, maybe his feet won't be able to set properly. Like, all the questions are there, but all the highs are there as well, so I can't wait to see what you do, JJ. Now we're into the top half, starting with number 16. Give me Mr. Caleb Williams at number 16. Ben Johnson is his coach. I think he will play well. He'll at least be a top half QB. That is with a certainty. They definitely improved the offensive line. The defense is actually looking pretty solid. As far as the weapons, they kind of still have DJ Moore and an aging Keenan Allen. So I think they are kind of the starters there right now. That's why I'm a little lower on him. If they would have had like Robert Dunze out there, wide receiver 2, maybe Luther Burden in the slot, maybe I would have put him higher. But the Bears might be improving next season. Now we're starting to get into the good QBs in the top 15. Oh, this is going to really get me some death threats, I'm not going to lie. I'm sorry, but at number 15, I got to go with Mr. Dakota Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys. If it wasn't for the absolute incompetence of the Cowboys to hire Brian Schottenheimer, the offensive coordinator, as the head coach, and also get Javonte Williams, who had a pretty awful season for Denver last year, and not even be able to get a great running back in Trevor Etienne. But that's not safe to say that the receiving core isn't bad, because it's actually pretty good. You got CeeDee Lamb at the 1, George Pickens at the 2, Jalen Tolbert at the 3, and you also got Kevontae Turpin returning kicks, and you also got Mr. Jake Ferguson, who is actually pretty solid as a tight end. And you got an improved offensive line with Tyler Guyton. Cowboys could make the playoffs, but I'm not too high on them, really. This team is just all over the place. They're either going to make the playoffs as like a close to division winner kind of thing, or they're just going to fall flat on their face and miss the playoffs entirely, and Jerry Jones might have to sell the team. Next up at number 14, I'm sorry, I gotta put CJ Stroud at 14. Dude, the Stroud fans are gonna kill me. Stephon is gone. You got Joe Mixon still. You got Dalton Schultz as a great tight end to have. Nico Collins and injury prone, unfortunately, Tank Dell. Then you also got Xavier Hutchinson, who showed some flashes. This offense should be interesting to see because the defense is looking nice. Let me say, D'Amico Ryans has done a very nice job of rebuilding Houston. It's a perennial AFC South Division winner. Don't be surprised if they do it again. At number 13, I gotta go Bo Nix for the Denver Broncos. Sean Payton's a great head coach. Obviously, the running back position got better with R.J. Harvey, second-round pick from UCF. Cortland Sutton's still the wide receiver 1. They're hoping that Troy Franklin or Pat Bryant from Illinois, I can't remember how you say his name. I think that's how you say it. Or at least that's the name of the guy from Illinois that they drafted. Also, the defense is just top 5 unit in the league, at least. Sean Payton's going to have his hands full, especially with playoff expectations. Some people are saying Broncos are going to win the division? I think that makes 0 sense. But please don't be surprised if the Broncos beat the playoffs again and win at least 11 games. Number 12, I have Brock Purdy of the San Francisco 49ers. He deserves a lot more credit than he is given, let me tell you that. He has led the San Francisco 49ers to back-to-back conference championship games and a Super Bowl appearance. And then, of course, the 2024 season happened and all those injuries came along. But San Francisco's returning. Most of their defense is gone. Jordan Mason is gone as well. So is Deebo Samuel. But I think that's the least of their concerns. Brandon Ayuk is going to try to come back in the second half of the season due to an ACL tear. You also got Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings out there wideout. And you also got one of the best tight ends in the league right now, George Kittle. Offensive line is actually looking pretty nice. It's really just the defense that's been the biggest concern. But that's not what this is about. This is about offense and the receiving cores and all the skill positions besides the quarterback. But that's literally what I'm ranking these QBs on. Brock Purdy is a solid 12, but he could easily be a top 10 QB if he can really play well and lead the Niners to perhaps a division winner. At number 11, people are going to be pissed when I say this, but I do not believe that Jordan Love is a top 10 QB. He's number 11. Matthew Golden was a huge get. The Packers finally drafted a first-round receiver for the first time since 2002, which is a very long time. You obviously got 1,000-yard rusher Josh Jacobs returning. Solid offensive line. Defense is looking nice. Receiving core is really the only big concern right now because Musgrave and I believe Tonyan? I can't remember who's the tight ends on that squad. Oh, sorry, Musgrave and Tucker Kraft. My bad. You do have an injury-riddled receiving core besides Matthew Golden, as in Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs, Daltavius Wicks, Christian Watson, perhaps. The biggest concern for Green Bay right now is the receiving core, and also Jordan Love needs to limit his turnovers because it's kind of getting bad. Y'all remember last season when he had that kind of Brett Favre stint when he would throw a lot of touchdowns but also throw a lot of interceptions? Yeah, it was kind of a Brett Favre kind of thing to do, right? It's really the turnovers that need to be limited. That's why he's not a top 10 QB on my list. I know Packer fans are going to be pissed about it, but it's the truth. And now we are entering the top 10. Starting that top 10 with number 10, I'm going to go Justin Herbert of the LA Chargers. Jim Harbaugh is known to be a great winner as a head coach. Obviously, you got Najee Harris at running back. You also got Lyle McConkey, Quentin Johnston, wide receivers 1 and 2. Tight end could be a bit concerning, but not too much maybe if it's not a big problem. They did pick up Tyler Conklin, which is actually not even a bad guy to get. And you also got Marion Hampton in the draft. Offensive line actually does look nice. As far as the defense, you do miss Joey Bosa, which could be a problem. Oh, and you also lost Khalil Mack. Well, that sucks. At least this isn't about the defense. Because the offensive team, besides the tight end position, looks very solid. Looks like a top 10 unit. And now, number 9. Oh boy. This is where it starts to get real. At number 9, I hate to do this because the Lions were so good last year, but Jared Goff is number 9. Great receiving core in Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams. You also got Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, hopefully coming back from injury. And also Sam Laporta. Like, the offense is just dominant on its own. Fortunately, without Ben Johnson, I feel like it could be a little bit of a slump for Detroit. As far as defense, Aiden Hutchinson should be returning, if I am correct. So the defense should be kind of just fine. Lions aren't in the decline too much, especially with Dan Campbell as their coach. But that 15-2 season will probably be their best season up to date. Now we are into the top 8. Let's go. Starting with number 8. Oh boy. I gotta be real here. I think Matthew Stafford is going to be number 8 here. He is still a top 10 QB in the league. And he's got Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua now to throw to. Also, you got Kyron Williams at running back. I think you still have Tyler Higbee as a tight end. And your offensive line, I think it's actually kind of declined because of the addition of Jonah Jackson to the Bears. Defense should look solid as well. As far as the offense, though, it's really just the offensive line that's gonna kind of me. I don't know, man. Also, Matt Stafford is 37, man, and he could still sling the rock. That's crazy. Number 7. I feel like I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. Jane Daniels is going to be number 7. Yo, chill out. I'm joking. Number 7 for real is actually Baker Mayfield on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You can't deny that Baker Mayfield is actually a top 10 QB in the league, especially after what he had to deal with in Cleveland and Carolina. Everybody writ him off, but then he got an extension or signing with the Bucs. Now he's got an extension. He's playing the best of his career. Running back duo is really solid. Rashad White, and you also got Bucky Irvin, who is really, really good running back. But then you also got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. You also got Jalen McMillan and rookie Emeka Egbuka in that receiving core. That's going to be nice. Defense is really solid as well. I'm really expecting the Bucs to be NFC South champions, if you know what I mean. Obviously, the Falcons will be second, but come on. Tampa Bay should win the division for the 4th straight year, and I'm all here for it. Oh, wait, no. Is that like 6th straight now? I think they started winning the division like 2021 or something like that. Either way, Baker Mayfield's still a top 10 QB in the league. By the way, the top 8 is literally just the best of the best. At number 6, ooh, this is going to be very hard to say. But there is a Washington sports fan by the name of Andrew Financo, and he's going to be mad at me when I say that Jane Daniels is actually number 6. You guys want to know something? CBS ranked this guy number 1 post-draft. I don't know if he's going to be better than Baker. Like, I honestly could have just flip-flopped those two. But he is definitely a top 10 QB already, and it's only been his rookie season. Single-handedly almost led Washington to the NFC Championship, nearly led him to a Super Bowl. And all he had was Terry McLaurin, De'Ami Brown, and Zach Ertz. Oh yeah, and that running core led by Brian Robinson. There was also McNichols out there, Rodriguez, sometimes Austin Eckler as well. Man, you know, Washington, like, they have a chance to really make it all the way if Jane Daniels could play just like he did last year. Number 5, dude, this is so tough. I am so sorry. I would put this guy at number 1 in any other situation. Unfortunately, number 5 is Patrick Mahomes. I know, I still think he is the best QB in the league. But if we're talking about him and his receiving core, Travis Kelce, of course, offensive line got weaker, receiving core got weaker. Running backs still got Pacheco, still got Kareem Hunt, but it's pretty much the same except it kind of got worse. Defense, of course, a little bit in the middle. They can make some clutch plays in the end, and sometimes they don't. Mahomes is a really good quarterback. He's actually the last quarterback to throw for 5,000 yards in a season. And that was back in 2022. Also, the second time he won an MVP. Do I still think the Chiefs are going to be great with Mahomes? Yes. Do I think he's a bad QB? Absolutely not. He's just not what he used to be right now. And with all his weapons leaving, it's going to be hard to really place him high on a QB list with Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Jalen Hurts now. Number 4, look, he won a Super Bowl. I understand that. I think Jalen Hurts is number 4, though. Greatest running back in the league, Saquon Barkley, who is coming off a 2,000-yard season. Then he has A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith out there, the receiving core, along with Dallas Goedert. Somehow, without Jason Kelce, they won a Super Bowl. And especially because of the defense as well. Defense did lose some guys, including C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Milton Williams, but they did retain some key pieces like Jalen Carter. Well, Jalen Carter's been there since his rookie contract, so. But guys like Zach Ball and Darius Slay also went away, I noticed. All Philly has to do is retool and reload on defense, and they should be right back to where they are now, as potential championship contenders. Now we get to the 3 best QBs in the league. Number 3, oh boy. This is going to be very controversial. However, oh man, I'm between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson for 3. But it's got to be Lamar 3. Am I saying he's not as good of a passer as Josh Allen and Joe Burrow? No, not at all. I mean, he's a great dual threat. Probably the greatest dual threat we'll probably ever see. But the fact is that he has an impressive team around him. That's why they had, I believe, the 2nd or 3rd seed. I think it was the 3rd seed in the AFC. And they won the AFC North again. Obviously, you have King Henry at running back. You had Zay Flowers. I think Rashad Bateman you could put in that conversation. Mark Andrews at tight end. Offensive line is pretty good. They also got DeAndre Hopkins in free agency. Defense had to give some reshaping and retooling, but they did end up getting Malachi Starks and Mike Green in the same draft class. I feel like those two are pretty much immediate starters. Not really, but, you know, like, those two are great athletes. Obviously, the defense has gotten better. Offense is kind of the same, except with the addition of Hopkins. Lamar is definitely due for potential MVP season again. And now the final 2 QBs in the league. Oh boy, this is going to be tough, but number 1, Josh Allen. Number 1, Joe Burrow. Now, here's why. Look, I know Josh Allen won the MVP despite a receiving core that, let's be honest, is not exactly great. But he still led them to the AFC Championship game and the 2 seed of the AFC. He did limit his turnovers just this past season. I think he's probably going to go back to being a little bit of a turnover mess, aside from being a top 3 quarterback in the league. It's just this kind of weird gut feeling that he's going to turn into what he was before just this past season when he limited turnovers and won the MVP. Defense somehow impressed me in that entire season, and they are getting some great defensive back help. You obviously got Christian Benford. You also got that Kentucky corner. I can't remember his name. Oh yeah, Maxwell Hairston has to be an immediate starter at defensive back. You also got TJ Sanders from South Carolina to help out with the interior on defense. So they're actually building quite a good team. And don't get me started on Joey Bosa going to the Bills. And then, of course, Joe Burrow. Let me tell you, if he had a defense that was literally almost similar to like a top half defense, like even number 15 defense in the league, he would have been MVP this year. Let him passing yards, let him passing touchdowns. It was pretty much all the defense's fault for them missing the playoffs. Of course, it's pretty easy when you got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins at wideout. Chase Brown kind of coming into his own, starting to be a great running back, or at least a solid running back. You also got, I believe, Mike Gesicki at tight end. Offense looks great. Defense just looked hideous. I think like towards the end of the season, they actually played pretty nicely. Hopefully that can translate to the next year. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my ranking of the all 32 starting QBs as of right now. Once again, these are subject to change, so don't think these are the final rankings just yet. But I hope y'all are excited for this upcoming season as much as I am. And that is going to do it for this episode of Grizzly Talks Football. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give it a big fat thumbs up. Hit that red subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. This is the reason I'm signing off for now. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace!